Now, may I ask why Ethereum? Why did you
Sure.
decide to go that route?
Yeah. So here's all I care about. I have a very simple belief as to what makes crypto valuable today. Okay. Fantasy dreamland, what might make crypto valuable in the future? You can dream up whatever you want. Oh, it's going to replace the dollar. Sure, dude. Maybe, right? What I have is today. Okay. What we have today is the two most valuable things you can buy with your Bitcoin are altcoins or US dollars in an exchange. That's it. Less than 4% of retailers accept it. Far, far less. Less than 4% of the top, like 500 retailers. Less than 4 million wallets exist with over $100 in them. Most people have more than one address. Okay, so when I say wallets, that's incorrect. That's addresses. Less than 4 million addresses have over $100 in them, which means if you're like minimum number where you consider someone actually a user of the stuff is $100, which ain't asking much, I might say. You know, Clash of Clans has 100 million users, and their average ticket's far over $100. Otherwise, it wouldn't make the $1 billion a year they make, right? Have to do the math on that.
Wow.
So they, and I think it's net. I think they net a billion. I think they gross more. Check it. Check the numbers yourself. If you don't like their numbers, the other 4 or 5 top games also have about the same numbers. Casual games, free games that magically turn not free.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if you look at Bitcoin, which has been around for 10 years, to only have less than 4 million users with $100 in it, I think is pitiful. So I need to be able to do better. In order to do better, I need a better tool, right? So there are a lot of people that have made a lot of money on Bitcoin, right? So like exchanges have made a ton. Mining hardware companies have made a ton. Wallets haven't made anything, which just sucks, right? So the people that are most in control of the user experience for the thing to do what it's supposed to do, which is get rid of middlemen, they make the least money. So the user experience sucks. Wallet devs, which are like the most important people in the ecosystem, the most likely people to catch security bugs, the most likely people to make this whole thing work better, they don't get paid shit. Who makes all the money? The middlemen, the people we're trying to get rid of. They make all the money. Exchanges make all the money. Margin trading makes all the money. You know, like it's a tragedy of the commons. It's backwards and fucked up, and it's like it ain't gonna get fixed. So, so what would you need in order to fix that? Well, you'd need like one large stakeholder that had a large enough share that he could pay to onboard new users, and he could like have a financial monetary incentive to make the UI UX better, right? Because he's got a large enough portion of the stack that when the thing gets better, you know, his stack goes up enough, right, to make it cash positive for him. So you're not going to get things like that. You're not going to get a Super Bowl ad for Bitcoin. You're not going to get a wallet that makes money. It's been 10 years. You know, a lot of places ATMs have shut down. A lot of places retailers have stopped accepting it. These are not normal behaviors for a successful startup. Now, some things have gotten better. Maybe Lightning will work out, which, by the way, has absolutely nothing to do with Bitcoin at all. Nothing. It does not run like the Lightning project is built by different devs than the core software. The network it talks on is a different network, talks over different ports. Like it, the only common thing, like all Lightning is a really cool fancy way to trade pre-signed Bitcoin transactions that are time locked.
Mhm.
So if this guy unwraps and proves he paid, then this guy gets to settle and all that stuff. Like, and and it works for any network, right? So if you like Lightning, which I think it's awesome, it's also on Ethereum, right? So they've got Raiden, state channels, Plasma. That's all the same stuff. Trading about pre-signed on-chain transactions. So like, yeah, it's awesome. It's cool. But it's not really Bitcoin, which is the reason it will be applied everywhere else that anyone wants to use it. It's a great idea, you know, but it's not. It's not going to give Bitcoin some competitive advantage above and beyond the other tokens that choose to employ it. So like, my point is, in order to make a larger impact than Bitcoin has, you need to do UI UX better, and things like overpaying miners. How good is it that miners make tons and tons of money that they then hand to mining hardware manufacturers and to the electric company? So they just get paid to pollute. It's not great. It's not wonderful, right? And those guys, they don't talk to you on Twitter. They don't give a shit about what you have to say. They don't seem to be the most friendly folks, right? Like I do live streams all the time. You know, I used to be a miner. Back when mining was on GPUs, you could talk to all the other gamers and, you know, overclock your GPUs and install custom BIOSes to get some more volts in there, and, you know, do a lot of cool stuff as a community to mine this thing and make the network work. But then as soon as ASICs came along, they don't even speak English anymore. They're a totally different alien community that doesn't even interact with you at all, right?
Wow.
And then you're like, but in Ethereum, they still have GPU miners, and they care about that, so they're changing the proof of work to get rid of ASICs, and they're switching to a proof of work called Prog POW, just to get rid of ASICs. That's fucking beautiful, right? So if you want to mine Bitcoin right now and you got a GPU in your computer, fuck yourself. You ain't making any money. But if you want to mine Ethereum, you can. I'm not sure you're going to make money, but at least you're able to break even maybe, right? You don't even have a break even option if you're trying to mine Bitcoin, because you need an ASIC, which is like, you know, $1,000, $2,000. So it's a better mining ecosystem. You asked me why I chose Ethereum. They have the most hash rate, the most developers, never had an inflation bug. They have a bug bounty program. They're just more friendly. The testing is better, right? So there is auditing companies that know how to audit smart contracts that you can go to. That doesn't really exist for like a Bitcoin fork. You're like, oh, you got a Bitcoin fork? Well, those don't get audited. It's not even a thing, right? Like Bitcoin's not audited, and no Bitcoin fork is audited. It's the attack surface is just too large. They look at the EXE and they're like, yeah, this will take a couple of years. Hope you don't plan on changing anything. Like, it's a nightmare, right? Which is why you keep getting these bugs. Like, software's hard, you know? We just had an inflation bug discovered by a Bitcoin Cash developer less than a year ago. Now, to tell you what inflation bug means, that means some guy can just print as many coins as he wants. That was less than a year ago in Bitcoin with the best devs, right? Like, I still think they're the best devs, but that inflation bug shit shook me. I'm like, oh, so like we're basically like one double click EXE away from the network, just printing free money for somebody. I don't like that. So in HEX, once the smart contract is on the network, you can't change it ever. People can double click whatever EXE they want. That smart contract is what it is. You can't change it, right? It's not up to negotiation. So there's advantages. There's a ton of advantages to using Ethereum.